Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a review of this knife, the Benchmade Mini-Griptilian 556. This is actually not your standard mini grip. This is a D2 mini grip here. Let's see here, CPM D2. But before we go farther into the video, let's just do some quick size comparisons. I already made a review of this knife before actually, but not on this specific configuration, so I just figured I'd make a standalone review for you guys to check out. So here's a Spyderco Manix 2 in foliage green, and here is a Victorinox Cadet. Specs are 2.91 inches for the blade length. Blade thickness is 0.1 inch. Blade material is D2. It's called a modified drop point blade, and the I think it's a DLC coating, or maybe it's a BK1 coating by Benchmade. I didn't look up the coating, but the Mini-Griptilian has always been one of my favorite EDC blades, and the reason for that is it's just a very good functioning design. Let's see what I like about it. Let's first go to the blade. The blade here is 2.91 inches of D2. Now 3 inches is my favorite blade length. This is 2.91 inches. That's close enough. I can't tell the difference. But I feel like a 3-inch blade is perfect because it's not too long as to scare people or to be unwieldy, but it's also, does it make sense? It's not long enough to scare people, but it's also long enough to do a lot of the work that you need to do. And I feel like the 3 inch is the best compromise for that. 2.91 inches, just as good. The drop point blade is a really nice blade shape on this one. Has some belly, but not too much. Has a nice strong tip. Especially for EDC use, you're not really going to bang up that tip. Flat ground on this one from about halfway. Benchmade does a good job on their grind for this one. I've heard the recent ones don't come well with sharpness, but you can see this one has been used to some degree. The coating's starting to come off and stuff like that. But this steel right here, the D2, I think this is a significant advantage over the 154cm. I have never had a 154cm knife, but this knife is not razor sharp. But the thing is that this knife is incredible. It has this like micro serrations. It has a very, very toothy edge, and I think that's because D2 is a hard steel, and I think it will tend to, I'm not sure if this is right, maybe I'm making this up, but I do think that the steel tends to chip before it tends to roll, sort of like a VG10. But with the D2, what you get is all these little tiny chips in the edge, which makes sort of like a serrated edge on a very small scale. So that makes a D2 really, really good for cutting. First of all, if you get razor sharp, I mean, it is razor sharp. You can get to slice really easily. But I can just imagine this edge doing anything that a serrated blade can do. I mean, just as fast. With cutting rope, which is one of the few things that serrated blades are supposed to do better, I can imagine this doing just as well in every aspect. I'd rather this blade not be coated. I'm not a huge fan of coated blades, but so be it. Mel Pardue design, nice blade shape. Handle is really nice. Another really good reason why I like the Mini-Griptilian. A lot of people complain that it's a three-finger grip, but you can see here I can comfortably get all 4 of my fingers onto the knife. Maybe I have small hands, but you can see I can hold it relatively easily. I can do it with 3 fingers, but it's actually less comfortable that way. You can see here in the FRN scales, there's this little panel of sort of stippling texture type deal here, but it adds to grip. But I think the handle ergonomics are good. You got this nice little swell toward the end and this nice choil along with a nice thumb ramp to lock your hand in, and you can get a lot of control. You can also hold it like that pretty easily too. It's a very light and easy to carry knife, which is another huge reason of why I like it. I do carry some heavier knives, but I have my own limits. This is still very reasonable. This is 2.56 ounces, which is within anybody's EDC limit. I hope you don't choose to carry knives if they weigh over 2 ounces or something, because you're going to be hard pressed to find knives that fit you. But this is just a great size to carry. It's super light and just it functions great. You can see deployment here is very fast. with the axis lock, which is just famous. You can see here, no play side to side, no play up and down. I mean, it's just very, very tight. Also very easy to operate one-handed, so that's also very good. Adjustable pivot, etc., etc. The clip on this one is your standard Benchmade clip, and I do like it. That's another reason why I like the knife. It's just a well-designed clip. But the thing about it is the paint that Benchmade puts on is probably the worst paint out of all the major brands that I have. It just comes off really easily. I wish they had coated the clip like they do the blade. I don't know how much harder that would be, how much they would add. Maybe, maybe a Parkerized clip is an option, but I don't know. It's just it's also kind of shiny. It's not really like a flat black finish that would hide well in the pocket. It's just kind of ostentatious. What I would have liked for them to do on this knife in specific is blacken out the lock release. I mean, the whole thing is black except the lock release. I just feel like that would have made more sense. You can see that it kind of stands out in the middle of the knife. But they did do a good job in blackening all the screws and the pivot, etc. This knife, unlike the big Griptilian, has full stainless steel liners, and I really like that about this knife. It makes it feel very solid, and I can't show you it. Let me get out something to show you. And this is actually a Preon 2 hybrid deal, and I don't know if you can see in there, but there are full liners. So that makes it actually feel very solid in the hand. One of the complaints that a lot of people, and I had to some degree, with the big size Griptilian is that it just sounds kind of cheap, the handles. But this one, they feel very solid. They don't flex at all. I can't imagine, even if it was plastic by itself, I can't imagine it breaking. But with the steel in it, it's bound to do great. And even despite that, they still get a very, very nice weight on this knife. I don't know if there's anything else for me to say. The Benchmade Mini-Griptilian, this is the 556 BK with the D-2 blade, is a really, really great option. If you have the chance to go with the D-2 blade, go with it. I know they don't make a satin D-2, which is, I would totally be all over that. But if you can get into one of these for a good price, then definitely go ahead. I think the 154 cm grip, mini grip, is a great value at $60. That's a phenomenal value. I don't think this one is nearly as good of a value. I bought this one used because I just saw it on the forums. But if you buy these new, I think they're closer to $100, maybe $90 on something like Cabela's, because the D2 isn't as wide of a release. Now, I'd say if you want to spend more money, go with the Ritter grip. I have the Ritter grip, and that's by far my favorite EDC blades. This is a little, lower on the list, but I've never really been into the black coating. But this is a very solid knife if you can get one at a good price. But I just say check out the 154 cm one if you're looking for a cheaper one, or check out the Doug Ritter one if you're willing to pony up the cash for this one. But I mean, with all that said, this is just a phenomenal knife. Just everything on it is well designed, well done, and it's a very good utility design. And I don't even think this black one is all that sheeple unfriendly. It's just because it's small. It's kind of got organic type curves. So this knife, highly recommended by me. The Mini-Griptilian in general. This one a little bit less so than the other Griptilians. That's just my opinion. Maybe if you guys like the black coating, definitely go with this one. But that's just how I feel. And I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Got a lot more videos coming soon. When I get more time, I've been very busy with school recently, and the phone is calling. So I guess I'll see you guys later. And I'll leave you this as a size comparison. Peace.